Hello, my name is Brian Barajas. I'm from Houston, Texas, originally from Los Angeles, California, United States. Um, just a brief history, I suppose. I started playing piano at the age of 28. Um, Back in middle school, I was in an orchestra. I don't believe we played particular pieces that I remember were from Bach or anything like that. I think it was just a beginner's course. My history in music basically stems from the a LaRouche political action committee headed by Lyndon LaRouche, uh, a statesman that people have to understand who he is, and I do believe just an indication of who he is. Mr. LaRouche has written many books on the question of classical culture, particularly one piece called "Think Like Beethoven." And but I joined the organization at 25, when I was 25 back in 2007, and then 2009. But music, our work is it really stems from the classical period, or the tuning of C256, A equals 432 hertz. My particular aspect of that research also runs into historical context, in terms of documentation that people can find online of the question of tuning. This particular aspect of true morale, if you will, I chose the Clara Schumann tempo at 80. Why? Because well, when I started learning to play music or piano, I believe the first aspect of learning to play piano was Bach's Book One, Well-Tempered Clavier, particularly the Prelude, where I learned how to use my thumb. From there, I believe the first piece I think that I endeavored to memorize was the Book One, but my second was Schumann's True-Morai. So my I remember when I was sight reading it very slowly. I remember a particular moment when I reached a state of sort of like just a melting of, the sense of where you're going in the piece. And it's impactful in the sense that for me, I suppose, it's a particular kind of joy, tears of joy, that Friedrich Schiller, the poet of freedom, elicits. So why I chose Clara Schumann's tempo was because of that. I wanted a slow tempo because I believe it represents the dynamical aspect of moving someone's soul, basically, by allowing them to concentrate on the piece. So what I would say, therefore, is that this particular aspect of why I subscribe to Vim's web channel is because of this aspect of studying music as such. What is music? How do you convey music? My particular background and opinion on the question of tempo, it's more on the lines of C.P.E. Bach, on the essay on the true art of playing keyboard instruments. What's interesting, though, when you set the tempo, and I try to do my best in relaxing the tempo enough, and this is what worked for me, using a slower tempo. What worked for me is first you are challenged to know the piece. That is to say, as I think you get a sense of what I mean when I show the playing. Throughout the piece, obviously I was running into or challenged to know the piece. In other words, I had to go back and read the score, study the score, and really ground myself in the piece, but knowing it. In other words, because of the slow tempo, you can't really go automatic mode like a machine would play. You have to really concentrate in foreshadow of the piece, and you have to get more comfortable with the piece. And what I found was trying to play and basically relive that moment of that breakthrough I made in myself with this piece. And I don't think that I could do that in a faster tempo, because I tried to play it in fast tempo and something was off, something was missing. And so slowing it down, even though I'm not an expert in playing music, but what I do understand is this nature or qualitative nature of humanity, where something beautiful, precious can be conveyed and move an audience to tears, but tears of joy, tears of breaking out of their state of backwardness. And this is what I think works in this tempo. What in this method of WBMP, what doesn't work though is you can't really, and this is from C.P. Bach, you can't really rely too much on the tempo. The tempo is a method to which one is guided or guides a piece. In other words, I think you'll find throughout the piece, I constantly try to resort back to the tempo, like slow it down, paying attention, execution. And anyways, but the tempo is only useful if you are strong enough to, in playing, that is, in concentration, in your ability to convey the piece. It works as a sort of like tires on the wheel, for traction. Not attraction, but traction. So it works in that way. What does not work is that relying too much on that method of slowing things down for no reason. So I think you'll find in the piece that breaking from or accelerating here and there, but without sacrificing the slow tempo. What the slowness method? Why do we do that? Why at that speed, right? And like I said, it's going back to sight reading this piece the first time through, and just having a sort of like a spiritual exercise that LaRouche says that is what we do. but if we can help people to do that, to understand the method, why? So we have to represent it. We have to approach. At least this is why I decided to do this video, and because of it, I think regaining, or at least conveying, a musical composition from the standpoint of, do you really know it? And if you do know it, then you could do it at that speed, and like slowing it down with the, just eliminate the robot within people. So you're more in touch with the piece, because you're slowing it down, and the challenging part is, again, it's like reading a book or anything, or science work. It takes this method of slowing it down so you can get a glimpse of what the musician or composer wanted to convey. So do I have a question for you guys in terms of the piece? Well, I don't know. I think my question is, I suppose with any piece, I suppose, do you, or have you experienced a tears of joy, like you're in a bad day and that piece clarified within you, that cloudy days or whatever it is, that it doesn't exist in music. Music obviously it's not a mortal substance. It doesn't live in the in the flesh, but a higher domain exists. So I think that I should thank you guys, Roberto, as well, for helping in this way to study the compositions. I think that that's the only way that we can actually express something within the piece itself, which in my experience, I only experienced it in slow sight reading of the piece. And I must confess, when I was sight reading it was it was way slower. I can guarantee you. It must have taken me 15 minutes maybe to get through it, just by sight reading it for the first time. So, but I think what I went through in that experience, I think I know that I did what I know I conveyed such a conception in this performance. So thank you very much.